Hello, good evening. This is Weekend File on the NTA. We are live in Abuja. When President Muhammadu Buhari assumed power in 2015, Nigeria was facing deficits across all sectors, including economy, infrastructure, low level of agricultural development, security, among others. One of the greatest threats to the economy, besides security, is near absence of infrastructure, which is the engine of growth. The railway, for example, had remained a mere dream for Nigeria in the past 50 years. Roads and major bridges, critical elements of the economy, had marginal improvement, while Nigerians faced food insufficiency. And over 7 local government areas in the northeast had been overrun and in total control by the Boko Haram insurgents, completely excluding the northeast economy. Many Nigerians had the face of poverty, especially those at the grassroots who had never experienced any positive direct impact by previous governments. Indeed, Nigeria was experiencing a crisis in all aspects of national life. But today, most of these deficits are now history by the decisive efforts of the federal government. The Nigerian railway system is alive today with additional value of dry seaport. Insecurity is being tackled headlong, and the results are encouraging. Roads and major bridges are coming back. Large-scale farming through anchor boring and the National Land Development Authority (NALDA) is springing up across states, and lives are being touched through social investment programs, while employment and skills acquisition are emerging from several interventions under the present administration. Now, don't forget that there were many legislations that have brought about many acts that aided the acceleration of all these achievements. Just recently, the Petroleum Industry Act became a reality with 8 inherent benefits to the people and the national economy. Indeed, it is a harvest of groundbreaking achievements by the federal government. And that's our conversation tonight on Weekend File. Of course, we have reports from various zones, and our guest is the Honorable Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. The news first. Let's start with security matters, as the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, has charged personnel of the air component of Operation Hadinkai to sustain the current onslaught against terrorists and insurgents in the northeast. The Air Chief gave the charge while on an operational visit to frontline troops of 105 Composite Group Maiduguri and 103 Strike Group Yola. The visits, which served as morale boosters to personnel of the air component, afforded the Chief of Air Staff the opportunity to interact with them with a view to addressing some of their immediate operational challenges. Also top on the agenda was a summary of major achievements recorded by the air component in the last 30 days, given by the Commander, Operation Hadinkai, Air Commodore Nnamdi Ananaba, while the Chief of Air Staff, who expressed satisfaction with the results, which are now classified and cannot be made public, emphasized absolute discipline and dedication to sustain the onslaught against the remnants of the insurgents. Governor Mai Mala Buni has joined the Northeast Development Commission in a groundbreaking of mass construction of 500 housing scheme for internally displaced persons across 5 local government areas of Yobe State. This is part of the Commission's special presidential intervention to state and the Northeast region. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, was established in 2019 by the federal government to address developmental challenges in the Northeast sub-region and to restore means of livelihood of the people following more than 12 years of insurgency. To this end, Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni and the Managing Director of the Commission, Mohammed Goni Al-Gali, jointly performed foundation-laying blocks for the construction of NEDC modern mass housing scheme in the state. This is in addition to graduating 192 third batch of ICT trainees, distribution of food and non-food items to vulnerable households, and the inauguration of fully equipped infectious diseases laboratory for the testing of COVID-19 and other diseases at the Yobe State University Teaching Hospital, Damaturu.
The spread of this project across the state is a commendable drive by the Northeast Development Commission which confirms to our even development pursuit in the state.
Mass houses we are about to commence construction is of the colossal block side, which consists of blocks of 4 units of 2-bedroom bungalows with veranda and courtyard.
The Northeast Development Commission team, in company of Governor Mai Mala Buni, inspected the 40-kilometer Gujba-Mute Road, awarded under the Multi-Sectoral Crisis Recovery Project, as well as the 54-kilometer Wagir-Mute-Galda Road, which the intervention agency is taking over its construction. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
To control some ecological challenges in parts of Anambra State, the federal government has approved the Ecological Intervention Project. This was during the inauguration of roads with drainages in the state. Blessing Anyanwu reports.
Nobi, Alo, and Umudioka communities in Idemili and Dunukofia local government areas have suffered untold hardship due to erosion and flooding, until the Ecological Intervention Project was approved and completed through the Ecological Fund Office of the Secretary to Government of the Federation. With the construction of 5.2-kilometer road with drainages to boost their socio-economic well-being.
In fact, we are very, very happy with the federal government. Their kindness to remember and include in this project.
This road, as we are standing now, was very bad, unmotorable. But we thank God that today the federal government has come and relieved most of the pain that this road brought to the community.
The handing over of the project offers the community opportunity to take ownership, ensure its protection, maintenance and sustainability.
The importance of this project cannot be overemphasized, as it's expected to address the devastating effects of erosion and flood menace in these communities.
Messages from representative of the state governor Willie Obiano and other critical stakeholders applauded Mr. President's initiative as it will help usher in investors and reduce rural-urban migration. Blessing Anyanwu, NTA News.
Katsina State Governor Hamidou Bello Masari says his administration will continue to place premium on agriculture in order to assist farmers in bridging the food shortages curated by banditry in parts of the state. The governor made the remark while flagging off the date palm plantation of 600 hectares in Katsina under the National Date Plantation Campaign. Awal Haliru completes the report.
Date palm is an important tree for its potential in industrial raw materials for cosmetic, textile and pharmaceutical products. It is also used for human consumption. In a move to enhance agricultural value chain in processing and marketing of date palm, Katsina State government has provided 600 hectares of land for the plantation of the date palm to complement the federal government policy on agricultural development. The 600 hectares of land is to serve as training ground for the selected 60 youths on management of the plantation.
We are working seriously with some other financial institutions to get funding that will help these youths that are trained to furthermore develop the date palm value chain.
Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari urged financial institutions to key into the plantation campaign for value addition to small and medium holder farmers.
The establishment of date palm plantation requires huge financial resources due to the long period it takes before the farmers start harvesting. In order to actualize the 600 hectares targeted across the state,
from time to time we'll be training more and more of Katsina youth to take charge of the plantation.
Certificates were later presented to the selected beneficiaries of the date palm plantation program. In Katsina, Awan Haliru, NTA News.
Now, the last batch of the 2020 Christian pilgrims to the Kingdom of Jordan have returned to Nigeria after days of spiritual exercise. Ngozi Silva, Technique reports.
The aircraft conveying the last batch of the more than 2,000 pilgrims screened for the 2020 spiritual exercise in the Kingdom of Jordan touches the ground at 2 p.m. local time. The COVID-19, which affected global affairs, bears its brunt on the arrangement for last year's pilgrimage and made the commission settle for the Kingdom of Jordan for the annual religious rites.
There they have about 10% of Christians and then they have 90% of Muslims. Both the Christians and the Muslims occupy high positions in government. But what is more important to them is not about your religion, but is about you are a Judanian, you are one of us. And we are to really learn from this particular practical incidences of these people living together, loving themselves.
They have been able to manage the little that is available to them, and because they have their faith in God, they've been able to transform their society. And it is my prayer that this country will be much, much greater than it is present.
The Commission says the annual religious engagement was hitch-free as pilgrims acted within the ambit of the rules governing the spiritual exercise. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
You're watching the Weekend File on the NTA Network Service. Time for our first break. Do stay.
The federal government has commenced second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. If you are 18 years and above and unvaccinated, register at www.nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng. Visit the nearest vaccination site to receive AstraZeneca or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine as first dose. If you received your first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine before 8th July, get your second dose now. All COVID-19 vaccines are free and certified safe. At the vaccination site, you can check blood pressure and know your diabetes risk status. Children aged 0 to 23 months will receive childhood vaccines and screened for malnutrition. After vaccination, continue to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols. For more information, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Looking fresh for your date? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria, and cools intensely, keeping you protected and fresh.
Protected and fresh. Protected and fresh.
Let's take a picture.
Protected and fresh.
Still fresh, still protected.
Feeling cool and protected.
All day confidence to get close.
Oh yeah, take the Close Up shot. Close.
New Close Up Triple Fresh formula.
Wow Wash and Win Millions promo. Millions of Naira, daily prizes, and 1 million Wow sachets are up for grabs. Buy Wow now. Offer valid till October 25th, 2021.
Dances that create wow performances. And for many stains, we need wow. Amazing washing power. Each wow pack gets a lot of clothes clean and fresh. Wow. Washes a lot, saves a lot.
Welcomes you back to school. Have a session filled with lots of fun and excitement. Stay safe, stay healthy. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action Toothpaste. Sensodyne Rapid Action Toothpaste, available in a big 100-gram tube and a small 25-gram tube.
The Ministry of Information and Culture, in collaboration with the management and staff of the News Agency of Nigeria, heartily announces the renaming of NAN headquarters as Wadameda House in honor of its one-time Editor-in-Chief, Pioneer Managing Director, and Chairman Board of Directors, the late Malam Wada Abdullahi Maida, OON FNGE. Date, September 16, 2021. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, NAN headquarters, Central Business District, Abuja.
Chief Host, Honourable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Chief Guest of Honour, Right Honourable Aminu Bello Masari, Executive Governor, Katsina State. Royal Father of the Day, Emir of Katsina, Alhaji Dr. Abdul Mumin Kabir Osman, OFR. Citation will be delivered by Senator Ibrahim Ida, OFR, Sadona, Katsina.
Buki Ponle, Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, Announcer.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 Naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BB, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome back. The last 6 years have been eventful in the power sector as federal government says it will sustain investment in critical infrastructure. Joshua Ojito takes a look at some groundbreaking achievements aimed at improving access to electricity for sustainable economic growth and development.
In spite of competing national needs, the power sector has continued to receive attention of the federal government in the last 6 years, realizing its critical role in driving the economy. Only this week, the Federal Executive Council again approved more funds for the construction and upgrade of transmission infrastructure.
There are projects that are ongoing. We will look into them, see what are the problems, and see how we can complete them so that we can have the incremental power.
There are other inherited projects like the Kashimbila, Dadinkoa, and Gurara hydro dams, all completed to improve hydropower generation as work on Zungeru Dam project is nearing completion. More investments under the National Integrated Power Project yielding results, with 22 substations constructed across the country.
The immediate impact you will see in the fact that industries will begin to spring up.
It is on record that the government has injected so much between 2015 to date in the power sector.
With the target of achieving 30% renewable energy mix by the year 2030, more investments in solar-powered projects to energize rural communities, as well as micro, small and medium enterprises under the Economic Sustainability Plan. The National Mass Metering Program is to deliver 6 million meters to bridge the metering gap and ending estimated billing, with more meters expected to be rolled out soon. With more investment in the sector, electricity customers in the country are hopeful of increased power supply. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The rail sector has witnessed remarkable transformation in the last 6 years. Oyenaya Kalwaka in this special report tells us more.
6 years, 4 standard gauge railway projects with state-of-the-art facilities completed and in commercial use.
This is a better way to travel interstate now. Very fantastic. In fact, it's unimaginable.
With high level of patronage, these projects have created thousands of jobs, generated revenue and eased the pressure on the roads.
They are now adding value to our nation, adding work and job for the people.
Besides the movement of passengers, freight services are back at the Tabewari and Lagos-Ibadan rail lines.
And the freight, we are moving pipes almost on daily basis for the AKK project from Warri to Itabe.
With commitment in connecting the country by rail, more rail projects are ongoing, and the Transportation University in Daura, as well as the wagon assembly plant located in Kajula, Ogun State.
The objective here is to establish a railway network that is sustainable and strong to serve as a transportation backbone and open a new path.
With these projects, many believe it is an exciting time for the transportation industry in Nigeria. Oyenaya Kalwaka, NTA News.
Honorable Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, joins us live in the studio. Honorable Minister, you're welcome to Weekend File.
Thank you very much.
Let's start this session by critically examining or looking at those infrastructure development that we've seen in the past 6 years and still counting under the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration.
Well, thank you very much. Infrastructure remains the most veritable driver of any economy. China invested heavily and has continued to do so, and that is why the economy of China is growing
at a very, very exponential rate. America has now recognized the fact that it has to update and rehabilitate its own infrastructure. I want us to take our minds back to 1999 when this country returned to presidential democracy. At that time, the total power output of our country was 2.8 to 3 thousand megawatts. And by the time we left, well, that's after 8 years in 2007, nothing really changed. Nothing really changed. There were some cosmetic attempts to rehabilitate the infrastructural facilities. It wasn't easy whatsoever. Not much was achieved. It is therefore a credit to this government that when they came in, I want to talk of the power sector. I'm not just restricting myself to the power sector. Other sectors were also neglected. Whether you are talking about rail transportation, you are talking about mere roads, and so on and so forth, they were all neglected. In the area of power, well, I'm just listening to some of the comments by your own reporters. Today, it is a different ballgame. We are producing about 10,000 megawatts, which is a record transmission. It's about 7,000, and I think what eventually gets to us is over 5,000 megawatts. At the same time, we have combined the application of solar, not just in the industrial sector, but also for residential purposes. For the first time, our universities have witnessed the extension of solar power to their campuses. You saw what happened during the convocation at the Joseph Sawantaka University in Makurdi. It's a huge plant producing power. I think about 330 or something megawatts there, which satisfy the needs of that university. And will continue to improve on the existing infrastructure in that sector. For example, even recently, contract was awarded for upgrading of some of these power lines to ensure more efficiency and of course, more competency in the transmission of power. If you look at the rail sector, it's quite phenomenal. I still recall that at the time of independence, we were told there was an extension of the rail line to Maiduguri. It was under construction. And since that time, we have never had anything that we have seen in the rail transportation sector. The Abuja Kaduna has been completed. That track has been completed and put to use. The Abuja Itakwe to Wari in Delta has been completed, or Lagos, Ibadan, and these are standard gauge commitments. It's not the normal old the 3.5, the narrow gauge we've been talking about. And again, a contract has been awarded not just for Lagos to Ibadan, but also to Kano, and then far into Katsina. Then it will reach our neighbors in Niger. The contract has also been awarded for construction and rehabilitation, so to speak, of the line from Port Harcourt through Enugu, Makurdi, Plateau, onto Maiduguri. So it's a very comprehensive approach. You find the same thing on our roads. Yes, some of the contracts which were awarded were virtually abandoned due to lack of payment to contractors. Yeah, all these have been revived, and new ones have been, for road construction, new contracts have been awarded, and work is going on in a very commendable manner. I'll give you one example. Abuja, Kefi, Lafia, Makurdi. Eventually, it will reach the 9th mile near Enugu. And this is not just with respect to power, rail line, roads. We're also looking at the airports, because there are some people who do business by air. It is faster and more economical for them. And our airports have also been upgraded more is being done, upgrading of equipment and construction of more runways. A second Abuja runway is to be constructed soon, work will soon begin. So it's a whole comprehensive approach. If you look at the ports, equally they are doing well. Calabar port was abandoned, I think for over 12 years, nobody ever heard of a ship docking in Calabar. But today we have big ships docking in Calabar, and they're making an impact on the economy of this country. If you are on our route from Calabar through Makodi, you see the number of vehicles that carry flour from Calabar ports onto the hinterland, Abuja, and far beyond that. So, to be quite sincere, there are so many initiatives in this sector. The president is so committed to this, and through other initiatives like Suku funds, more roads are being constructed, and contractors are not owed as such.
Now, we are a nation that has oil as our, core earner, revenue earner. And nowadays, the diversification of economy is robust right now. And let's look at that area too, because Nigerians are beginning to see other means of livelihood.
Well, again, we take our minds back to discovery of oil days. Nigeria sustained its economy through active participation in the agricultural sector. We talk about the Kano pyramid, the granite pyramids in Kano. We talk about soya bean, we talk about maize, beni seed, cocoa, palm oil, palm kernels, and what have you. These were the commodities that constituted a major component of the Nigerian economy. We funded our educational system through this. We funded our infrastructure through proceeds realized from agricultural produce. So we were doing very well until we discovered oil. And everybody now abandoned agriculture and decided to go into oil and gas. Everybody carries this thing, oil and gas. We're into oil and gas. We neglected agriculture. Just like the situation in Benue when BCC was booming, those who were small traders decided to abandon what they were doing to go in for quick money into BCC to be selling cement. When there was a collapse in that industry, so many were affected. Today in this country, people are talking about agriculture, and agriculture is being encouraged deliberately as an alternative to oil. So many people have taken to agriculture, and the initiative of the president in that area, the initiatives are commendable. We talk about Anchor Borrower Program, which has benefited over 3 million people. And of course, we talk of the fertilizer initiative, and there's so many of these initiatives that are designed to support the farmer. And I can assure you that so many are making money in that direction. Fertilizer used to sell at the time, I remember, $8,000 to $10,000. It came down to $5,000 because government has decided to subsidize fertilizer, which is a critical input in the agricultural sector, so that it becomes not just available but also affordable. Tractors, our partnership with Brazil. So more tractors are coming into the country to support mechanization. You cannot continue to use the hoe or to push the animals to move, to plow for us. It is faster to use mechanization to enjoy a spectacular growth in the area of agriculture. In some countries, they use tractors in planting cassava and even seeds. So we can equally do that. I saw that in Brazil in those days when I was in Government House in Makodi. Nigerians believe rightly now that yes, agriculture is a thing they have to take to. It is not only agriculture. If you look at the service sector, in the communications industry, for instance, where so much is also being done. The industry is being expanded. More people are having their own means of livelihoods in the communications industry. And the industry has grown by over 1 trillion in the last 2 years, which is a record. Some countries have industrialized through agriculture. Others have done it through service sector. And we can combine the two and do quite a lot more for the benefit of our economy, for the benefit of our people. And of course, the ease of doing business has also been brought to bear to ensure that the other sector is fully prepared. The alternative to oil is fully prepared to move to the next level.
Now, it's also amazing to discover that a lot of young people are now moving into agriculture, unlike those days when it was seen to be an occupation, for older people.
Yes, because these are young people with good ideas, young people who are either university graduates or the whole diplomas, and they are not really prepared to use the whole, because the whole is an implement of the past. There are people who are willing to transform their ideas into concrete results, and they believe they can do this in the agricultural sector because of the modernization process that has been unchained now by the present administration. And that was why I touched on the issue of intense mechanization, and of course the fact that you can sit in your house using your phone, have a business deal in Turkey, wherever, and then you begin to load. I give you one example. I have a friend in Makodi. He's into processing. He processes Benny seeds to the next level. He dehors it, and once you dehull, the market is immense. It's all over the world. It's immense. And so what happens next? You just load it, and that is it. You are paid in dollars. And that is why more young people are taking to agriculture. Many people are beginning to realize there is more you can do and benefit outside of the public service sector. Outside of the public service sector. And in the first place, jobs in the public sector are dwindling. And so people must always try to use their initiative to improve themselves and to move forward.
All right, we're discussing the groundbreaking achievements by the federal government tonight on Weekend File. And of course, our guest is the Honorable Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume. We will talk some more right after this break.
Hooray! You can now buy and register a new Airtel SIM card and enjoy 8 times bonus on all your recharges. Visit any certified Airtel shop today with your NIN and get instant double data and 8 times bonus on every recharge. If you don't have NIN, you can also register for it at the Airtel shop. This offer is available to all new Airtel customers.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
This na the story of Pekin, we rise to the max. Rain or shine, it not settle for less. Na the story of small boy, we get big talent. Home and away. Wait do, it be like say na the story of one man we fall, but we bounce back in style.
Osime, wetin dey motivate you? I want day big, special and great.
Watching us live from Big Brother House Studio.
Joy for Osime and his teammates and Chuck as well.
Make we enjoy Max Entertainment together.
Sports or movies, telenovela or cartoon, music or reality TV. With just 6,900 naira, you fit get your Go TV decoder plus 1 month Max subscription. Make you enjoy over 75 channels with for Go TV Max. Make you and your special ones enjoy better things on Max levels. Go TV, love it.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Job creation, skill acquisition, and innovation among Nigerian teeming youth, and access to credit facilities by the present administration. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live next week, bridging the gap of unemployment and strengthening poverty reduction in Nigeria. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Thank you for staying with us on Weekend File. George Akume, Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, is still very much around here in the studio. Honorable Minister, let's look at this wonderful one here. After almost 2 decades in the works, the Petroleum Industry Bill became signed into law in 2021. What are we looking at?
Well, every observer of the petroleum industry, we agree that this is the day that the practitioners have been waiting for. They wanted a piece of legislation that will act as a guide in operations of the industry. They had complained, rightly or wrongly, I want to believe, that there were too many interventions. They wanted a system where operations are streamlined and you know precisely what you are dealing with and who you are dealing with in the industry. Since I got into the National Assembly in 2007, the bill came and was withdrawn once, twice, 3 times, about that, or 4 times. Nothing came out of it because of vested interest, because the pressures were so high, and I think the will to pass the bill was not there. Eventually, this bill has been passed, and if you observe, there has been celebration rather than condemnation. In most cases, celebration rather than condemnation. There is no way any law will be 100% acceptable across the board. You have substantial degree of acceptability, and that is what this bill has enjoyed. I remember one of those who participated actively in the passage of this bill told me it was high time they were also honored with national honors because of the spectacular breakthrough they had recorded. And this is the commitment of Mr. President. Of course, a little gray areas here and there, but they're not sufficient to undermine the integrity and importance and timeliness of this bill. Those who do business with us outside the country, we're also waiting for this bill, and that is why I talk about practitioner, actors in this industry. So, so far, I think it's a good effort, and we have to salute the courage, the doggedness of the President, and commend the National Assembly for breaking this jinx.
Now, the first national social investment program in our nation's history, and perhaps one of the largest in the world, is currently functioning in Nigeria as we speak under this present administration. I think we should look at that too.
Yes. What is happening in that area, social investment program, is most unprecedented in the history of this country. I'm old enough to also know the history of this country. Today, you have a government that is alive to its responsibilities by one, trying to reach out to those who are completely left out, the poorest of poor. 10,000 per family by monthly stipend. There are people who don't make up to 10 naira in a month. There are people who cannot even afford some little money to buy their drugs. The poorest of poor. And the World Bank applauded this program. You look at Empower. Over 600,000 have been absorbed so far since the inception of this program. 30,000, which is the minimum wage anyway, paid to graduates who don't have anything to do. And there are many, I know at least of 10 from my community, who are now expressing themselves into some little businesses, also employing others. It's a way of managing your own businesses too, managing your own finances. You can make an impact with 50,000 naira, with 20,000 naira, with 100,000. Some other people will even go further. When I was governor and we were giving people contract, I got some of these very well educated people in economics, in the finance world, to speak to them, and some practical businessmen. If you get your mobilization, put everything into the project, at the end of the day, you will have something and then you begin to invest. Now, the issue of school feeding, which is again something of a novelty. I know this is a federal government program. Some state governments appropriate it, but we know it belongs to the federal government. It's total commitment to ensure that our young ones have some little bit of a balanced diet, they have something to eat, to hold them, and to attract them to stay in school. These are some of these issues, some of these programs that are so monumental to our existence as a people, and above all, they are a recognition of the fact that we care for those who are left out.
Honorable Minister, we also have more than $6 billion of inherited cash coal arrears, which is now being cleared by the Buhari administration since 2016.
Well, cash coal, it's this payment in terms of this relationship between the majors. Well, I think I'm right, the majors and the MPC government. Yeah, this money is supposed to go to the IOCs, and these funds of support are supposed to build capacity for people to bring in machines for the operation of the oil industry, and these are contractual arrangements. And it is also in support of this contractual arrangement that these arrears have been paid. You know, OST plays a key role in the economy of this country, and you don't have to muzzle your economy by refusing or neglecting to pay the majors what has been agreed between them and the NPC.
Now, the issue of security and insecurity. Initially, a lot of people felt it was a monster that would really tear everyone apart. But it is being headlong, being tackled to the level that there is now considerable, peace and calm, even at the most volatile areas. I'm talking about insecurity now.
Yes, so what's the question?
The question there is, how do you react to the calm and unity amongst our people, even at areas that a lot of people felt, would not survive?
Yeah. Well, security will always be central in the affairs of nations, and Every nation pays sufficient attention to its security. Nigeria is no exception here. By the time this government came to power, so many developments had taken place. Not just within the country, but globally, in the Middle East, in the Maghreb. And of course, these developments had led to the collapse of governments. And with this collapse, arms, men of fortune, soldiers of fortune became available to be hired and to be used for sinister purposes. Our major challenge came during the time of President Jonathan. And when the president took over, there were so many challenges. Carefully, as a man with military background too, he managed this very carefully. 23 local governments in Borno that were under occupation by Boko Haram bandits were recovered. Yes, other places were liberated. In Borno were liberated, Yobe, Adamawa, and so on and so forth. Eventually, Boko Haram was degraded to a ragtag group. It's something that you cannot just overnight wipe it off. In Vietnam, the greatest power in the world suffered some reverses. Now you have to see what happened in Afghanistan, in Iraq. Recently, what has happened in Afghanistan. No country is immune from some of these little kitchens here and there. But we're happy that new directives have been given, new people have come, I would appear, and strongly to that the directives have been implemented, and more arms are coming in. We have some fighter jets, 6 and 6 more are coming from the US, and I think we got some from Ukraine, and so we're ready to go, and Nigerians are beginning to see calm. I just want to appeal to all of us. It is not just for those of us in Ghana, for all of us. It could affect any of us. There are some people who may say, oh, fine, this we're making PDP, APC has some little hitch, but when bandits strike, they're not looking for PDP or APC, they're just looking for their victims. Who do I catch and get money? It's unfortunate it is happening, but it's on the decline. And we believe gradually it's going away.
I want to thank you for coming on Weekend File today. This is just the part 1 of discussion on the groundbreaking achievements by the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you indeed, Honorable Minister, for coming.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with the Honorable Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, George Akume, tonight on the groundbreaking achievements by the federal government. Of course, this is Weekend File. Time for our last break. To stay with us.
This present government has done a lot on the train modernization. They came in and completed the Abuja Kaduna, and we have 9 stations there, 5 stopping stations and 4 crossing stations, making 9. And when we started in 2016, we started with 2 trips, then we later moved on to 8 trips, and we are talking about moving to 14 trips a day, and we have been able to send 10 DMUs, 10 coaches, and 2 locomotives new. We have 12 stations on the Takbere Warri line. It's about 312 kilometer length of track, and it's over 35 years old. And the government came and took it up, finished the track, build modern stationing, and the stations are finished. Working on the signaling. We all hope to start the commercial operation by the end of September.
Welcome back. It's now time for sports updates, and Bade Adelaide will bring us up to speed with the latest events.
Many thanks, Kenny. Let's begin with the Premier League, as Cristiano Ronaldo scored a dramatic double to help Manchester United to a 4-1 win over Newcastle United on his extraordinary Old Trafford return earlier today. 12 years after he last scored for Manchester United at his stadium, Ronaldo broke the deadlock in the first half at a time